Hello, it's Mr. Arnold here, and what's going to happen today is I'm going to really quickly show you a great new tool that will allow you to stay organized and also, hopefully, a little better at keeping track of notes. The new tool is called Google Keep. It's available on any of your Chromebooks, and how you find is you come down here, you see this white circle here. This will be available on any Chrome base or Chromebook. You click on it, and Google Keep should be one of the first things you see. And when you click on it, this little window will show up. Now, you can type pretty much whatever you want here. So for myself, if I wanted to, I can go through and write pretty much anything I want here. And right now, I'm just going to write a generic grocery list. Now, when I go through and write a grocery list, and I'm finished with it, that grocery list will show up here. Now, the reason why it didn't show up at the top here is because these ones are pinned up at the top, and you can see the pin right here, which means, hey, that one's super important to me. Make sure that's always one of the first ones that you see. And as you can see, now that one's right up top here. A couple of quick things that I can do is I can also change this. If I click on these three dots here where it says more, I can go through and make it show up as a text box. And I can also set an alarm for it, so I can tell it to remind me later today, tomorrow, next week. Or I can even pick up time and date, or I can pick a place. So if my phone is on and I have GPS on it and I show up at the grocery store, I can tell it, oh, remind me when I get to that place. For right now, I'm not going to really mess with that. The other thing I could do is I could add somebody else to it as well, and they would have access to it, and it works just like Google Docs. So if I was to send this to someone, they would be able to see what I've done and what I haven't done. And after I check these boxes off, it would cross it off on their list too. So if you're collaborating on a project and each person has their own job, you could go through and you could see how far somebody did just watching them click on it. And as you can see, when I click on it, it automatically crosses it out, makes it appear below. You can also color code it as well. And if you're feeling particularly ambitious, you can add a picture. So I can add a picture from my files right here, or I can go through and I can search for one. Let's pick the clever picture right here. And when I do that, it adds it right up here. Not much use for that, so I'm just going to delete that, but it shows you how you can do it. You can also archive it, and you can undo. All right. So that's some of the cool things that you can do with this right off the bat, but wait, there's more. All right. So whenever I want to add another thing, I can just go ahead and click straight up here. And as you can see, I have a list icon right there, so I don't have to even go and change that list right there. I can just click on it and get that started. But I can utilize this when taking notes. So right now, I am on the library website. Specifically the note-taking part where I was. So I'll just click on research here. I must have clicked something. And if I go into a database, what I can go ahead and do is I can take notes about anything that I want. So let's go ahead and look up something. Let's do Black Friday. That wasn't too long ago. Let's do a quick search. And I find an article that I want, and I can go ahead and go straight into it, right? Now, this is all pretty familiar stuff, but the nice thing about this is, let's say I want to put notes about Black Friday straight in here, stuff that I want to remember. Instead of writing my notes down, what I can do is I can literally copy and paste it. Now, of course, I wouldn't want to actually put that into my final paper, but what it would allow me to do is it would allow me to have those notes so I can reference them when I'm writing my paper. And obviously, another nice thing is if I was citing my paper, I can find my citation right here, copy it, and put it straight into my notes. Just like that, right? So obviously I have a lot of options here about where I can go, how I can go ahead and take a look at all these different materials, copy what I want, put it in, and yet also keep track of where I found it. So I'm going to be able to go back, reference those notes without typing them, and I'm also going to be able to know exactly what I am doing. Also, if I'm working with a partner, I can share these notes with them as well. So if somebody's taking part of the note, some of the notes, I can go through and take the others. But wait, that's not all. So let's say later on, after I've taken my notes, I want to go through and I want to write a quick paper. So I go into my Google Drive, I can go through and I can click new and I can create a new document, right? Well, when I'm creating the new document, one of the things that it will allow me to do is it will allow me to take a look at my notes right over here where a taskbar will show up. So really quickly, once it loads, when I click on Keep Notepad under Tools, what it does is it will bring my notes in right over here. So here's my notes on retail. I can literally take it, drag it straight in, and it copies it straight on there. So I can reference it right away. Right in here, I have everything that I need. All right, so obviously you don't want to use this for plagiarizing, but it gives you quite a few tools that you can use. One other thing that's probably worth mentioning is the fact that there's a app for your phone. So if you have an iPhone, and I'm sure if you have a Google phone, since this is created by Google, you can leave notes on your phone with your app, and it will sync up with everything. You just sign straight into it using your Morehead Schools account, and everything will be accessible to you. All right, hope you enjoyed this and that it was useful. Let me know if you have any questions. Have a great day.